Welcome to Proof Points, a podcast by Latham High-Tech Seeds. I'm Product Manager Steve Sick, and each week I'll be interviewing Latham team members throughout our territories. We'll have discussions on agronomy, hot topics in the industry, things we're seeing across Latham Country. Family owned and farm proven for more than 75 years, Latham Seeds is growing strong. Today, we're here with Amy Rohe, Head of Sales for Latham Seeds. How are you today, Amy?
I'm awesome. How are you, Steve?
Great. Thanks for asking. Just kind of as we wrap up the 2023 planting season, how would you say this year compared to the last across Latham Country?
So, it's interesting. Some places are just wrapping up. Other places are in the middle, and some places are just getting started. So the places that are kind of wrapping up, they've had a great season. They were able to get in pretty fast and consistent. We had a couple, like one cold spell in there, I think it was.
Right.
Now we've gotten a little bit of rain, so some of the areas are going in for the second time. But the great news is those are really pretty small pockets that we've experienced so far, which is exciting for us. No one likes to replant. And then up north, we're just praying for some sun and wind to dry some things out for them to keep rolling up there. But overall, it's gone pretty smooth compared to years in the past.
That's good. It's always good to hear when, we have successful stories in planting and everybody makes it through nice and safe and everything gets in the ground and starts coming up good. So, every year we seem to have different challenges. There's no such thing as a norm anymore, unfortunately. So, when we talk about normal, I'm not sure what we're referring to anymore, but, what would you say is the number one challenge of farmers today?
Well, getting it in the ground. I think the biggest thing is that everyone wants to go as early as possible. And, we really try to push, and this is, your coaching, so you can elaborate on it, is making sure the ground is right, is fit, and then looking at the next 2-day, 5-day forecast to make sure it's got really ample opportunity to thrive in that ground and pop up. But everyone likes to just turn that wheel a little bit earlier than last year. And so just trying to make sure it's right versus too early.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, early planting is great, brings your highest yields, as we all know, but it also brings a lot of challenges as well. Potential frosts. I know there were some areas that got very, very cold after we had our initial planting. One of the changes I know we're going through this year at Latham is we're really putting more of an emphasis on training, showcase plots and things along that lines. It's very important for us to get out and see the products, see the new products. How would you describe what we're doing with that this year?
Yes. So I'm really excited with you on board. It's just what you do. So you're definitely taking the lead on that. We always talk about touch, feel, see. So there's an example that I always share is the very traditional, I would say, plot day where people stood on the outside of the plot, kind of along the road. So there was some distraction there. They were looking around, maybe chit-chatting with their neighbor. There's that, scenario, which worked for years and years. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, Bob Foley just took us in a plot. All of a sudden, we were standing there surrounded by corn, and you couldn't not but want to touch it, right? And then he told us, don't touch it because it's going to yield. And so we all wanted to touch it more, right? And so we leaned into that and now created plots where you're going to see our team take you out in the field, and we want you to touch it and feel it and see it and rip it apart and really be as engaged in the process as in giving your feedback, right? So we talk about needs assessment a lot, and we want to find the right products that fit our customer base. We don't need it to go from Pennsylvania to Colorado. We need it to hover around, Southwest Minnesota or, Central Iowa, wherever that might be. And the best way to do that is to get people involved, listen to feedback, ask a lot of questions, and then, pass it on up to your team for you to go out and continue to find us some great products to bring forward.
Yeah, just to expand on what Amy was describing there, the touch, feel, and see is very important, as she mentioned. So we're having regionalized what we're calling training and excellence plots, or TIE plots, that will also have new products as well as give you a future look into products that are coming maybe 1 or 2 years out, kind of a glance at the portfolio to be in the future. So we'll be able to take a look at all that this year. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really a good change. I think everybody's going to love it. Like you mentioned, and the one good thing is you can always bring a beer out in the field with you if that's your beverage of choice. Um, so that's always good news. But yeah, I think it's a great addition to what we're doing this year for sure, no doubt. Is there any other new things that growers can look for from Latham Seeds this year?
So definitely get out in the field, and either visit, have the dealer visit either your field, or you definitely go to one of the plots. And those tie plots are awesome. So connect with your district sales manager or regional sales manager. They have access to all of those. Again, a huge shout out and high five to Steve for coordinating all of those efforts. Really looking forward to that. And then the next thing is just the lineup that the product team has put together this year. Again, we had a lot of feedback from our customers about Peking, for example. We've had Peking in our lineup for years. We didn't feel like there was really, I would say, products that kind of fit our requirements that we wanted to bring forward. You guys definitely were able to put together a great lineup. And again, going back to the tie plots, you can compare some of the new products to some of our existing products, because again, we have some really good tried and trues that are going to still continue to flow through our lineup. So looking forward to that, the new lineup coming for 2024 planting.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of exciting new things, new technologies like Power Core and List. I think that's a lot of game changers, in my opinion, that are coming, which is really good, bringing step change in yield and herbicide control as well. As Amy mentioned on Peking Source Cyst, there was just an article just here this past week on PI 88788, the standard cyst source, being overcome and dramatically now, and so it's really not as useful as what it was. So make sure and check out these products this summer. We'll be able to dig roots in these plots. We can look at things. We can do whatever we want to them. So definitely, as Amy said, make sure and get out and take a look at these. So really, Amy, I know we're just barely getting started with 2023. However, as we all know, in the sales world and in the seeds world, you're already planning for 2024. What new and exciting things are coming in 24 to give the listeners something to look forward to for next year?
Well, products really drive our conversation. So we're really hovering around the products. But I think the biggest ad that we're going to see more this year than ever is being able to take notes and be able to share those across the, I would say, territory lines, to also be talking about not only if something yields, but why it yielded. We really have a lot of defensive acres that we support. And you guys have put together a great lineup of some defensive packages, but then it also goes to how to manage them to really make sure we're maximizing our ROI. So as we look at our products, we're not just going to look at purely the yield, but also why it yielded, how it yielded, what did we do throughout the growing season to be able to support that. And you're going to see a team really be able to articulate that very well throughout the entire growing season. So looking forward to that, and then being out and about, definitely more visible and walking more fields this year.
No, you bring up a great point, Amy, on the ROI. It's something that a lot of people just don't think about. Obviously, our eyes always migrate toward the top of the list, and sometimes the highest yielding product isn't the one that brings you the most return on investment and money wise. So that's definitely something to focus on. Is there anything else you'd like our customers to know about you?
About me or the team? Anyway,
Anything you'd like to share, Amy?
no, it's really good. We have a team that is just very service oriented, and it's really exciting to watch them interact with definitely our dealers, and then as we take it a step next to the customers is really watching our dealers interact with them, find products that fit, and they're having great success for them to come back and share the wins. So it's as we continue to evolve, we're going to be out there even more, taking more notes, listening more to our customers than ever. We seem to be getting closer and closer to the customer and really understanding their needs and wants for your team to go out and develop some products for us as we continue to roll into the next couple of years to come.
Yeah, I think that's an important point as well, Amy. There's some companies out there that try and dictate from a corporate office or somebody sitting behind a desk in a faraway land. And that's not what we're like here at Latham Seeds. We really want everybody's input. I think that's a huge point.
Well, and one thing, if just to use as an example, tar spot, right? So tar spot popped up pretty hot and heavy in some particular areas.
Right.
Now that's weather dictated. And so we definitely have our eyeballs on that again this year. But you and your team have been watching it for years, right? It's not something new that we just thought of this year and go, oh, I see tar spots popping up. We should probably be looking at that. That just shows you the progression of where our team is at behind the scenes, really taking a look at that. We have a ton of, we call them elite trials. So these are, maybe you can articulate it a little bit better, but our product team, right? You guys you're testing products 2 to 3 years out before it even makes it to our team to really be able to understand where it will perform and how it will perform. So that's good. And then conventionals. We talk about conventionals and people are like, say what? But there's definitely, a market for that. And if you can manage it properly, it's just a whole new, I would say, avenue that people can look at, that they've probably never thought of before. So maybe you can articulate on a few more of those, but those are two things I'm kind of looking forward to this summer as well.
No, I think that's a real good point as well. I think, one of the things we're really focusing on at Latham is our territory. As you mentioned earlier, we're not worried about what goes on the East Coast, West Coast, anything like that. We hope everybody out there has success, but we're focused on, the Midwest, North Midwest. And I think we've got some really good products. As you mentioned, Tar Spot, 5410 is an absolutely almost as bulletproof a hybrid as what you can get out there for Tar Spot. It's a conventional 104 day, great product. And we've got pictures of it in a Tar Spot plot in Wisconsin to where it was side by side with another product. And we gave 5410 a 1 and this other product right beside it was a 5, just night and day difference. And basically they touched leaves all year long. So it's good to be on the cutting edge and the lead with that.
And that's a touch feel see, right? I don't think people would have, I know it would be hard to believe, right, if we didn't have our team out there going, wow, they're literally side by side, right? So genetics matters.
Yes.
And we definitely are excited that you guys have a really deep team that knows genetics very well and be able to put some packages together for us. So it'll be a really, really good year. Get out in the field. I promise you will learn something new from one of our team members. I promise.
That's true. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Just to what Amy said, get out in the field, get out there with us. We'll be out across the whole territory, looking at things this fall and this summer, starting here coming up in a few weeks. So definitely keep your eye out for some invitations and some training dates that will be scheduled. So fantastic. Is there anything else, Amy?
I don't. I too will be out and about this summer. So hopefully I will run into one of our listeners as we make our way across the footprint. And as always, please reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, concerns. We love
Mm-hmm.
feedback. It just makes us better. And then definitely, we have our Premier Agronomy Center down south in Alexander that's well underway. And
Yes.
would love to see you guys there as well.
No, that's a good point. We'll be having a big field day there coming up in the first part of September. So if you don't get a chance to get down to the Alexander before then, please join us in September. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Proof Points. Thanks for tuning in and have a great week.